Welcome one and all, my name is Tawess and today we have a broken mech. Actually it wasn't all that broken to begin with. It used to look a bit like this. And it's from my easy camo video, and I was gonna strip the camo and then an arm came off too. So I was like, well, since we have already taken one arm off, we might as well take that arm off, and then I felt I should repose it a bit. So I took the body off and split one of the arms just to change the pose up a bit. And this brings us to today's subject. Pinning. This is a paperclip. We're going to use that for pinning. Now, some of you might wonder, what is pinning? Well, it is easy in reality. Pinning is when you drill into the plastic and insert a metal or some other material rod and then glue it, and then glue the next part by drilling a hole in it and sticking them together. This creates a bond and gives a much secure connection, because the pin prevents things from shearing off as easily if you get knocked off a shelf, for an example. Now, the reason why I do this on these are fairly peculiar, because usually I would use plastic weld it, use a plastic glue, but for some reason this plastic and these mechs do not take well to my plastic glue, or rather they take too well to it. Nothing happens, it just slides off. So pinning. Now you might wonder to yourself, why should I do pinning? Well, there's really no good reason as to why you should do it, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. If you have a glue, if you have a good plastic glue, you don't need it. But if you work with super glue and plastic or metal or resin models, pinning is a really good tool to get things to stay together. Especially with resin, which is notorious for being difficult to glue. And well, to a certain degree, metal models, they're slightly easier because you can score them and get the glue to adhere another way to a different degree. The resin just doesn't like it. So what you do is you drill these holes in the two parts, insert a metal rod, for example a paper clip, or there are some companies sell you very expensive pinning rods. My humble suggestion is that you never ever buy a pinning rod from any company ever. Instead, you go down to your local Office Depot or whatever you happen to have in the way of selling office supplies. You can even go online, buy a big pack of differently sized paper clips, and you have all the pinning material you ever need. Toothpicks also good if they're not too heavy. Also need a good drill. The drill is worth spending money on, because a good drill does a real big difference. But yeah, as you can see here, we have now inserted a little tiny metal rod into a bit of plastic, and we're going to touch the other bit of plastic to that bit of plastic with the rod in between. The glue holds onto the metal rod, holds onto the plastic, and you have a very secure bond. It also helps if you try to pose things, because you can bend the metal to get poses that can otherwise be difficult to glue and might require you to use different kinds of I completely lost the word. Different kind of sculpting materials was the word I was looking for. Yeah, so to avoid having to use those, you can use pinning. It is actually useful when you're plastic gluing too, because sometimes you just need things to actually just live. Because sometimes it takes time for glue to set. It's nice to have an extra reinforcement in there. And the bigger the model, the bigger the rod. Or more small rods is also a solution. If you're working with big resin models, I would highly recommend pinning, unless they are translucent. Then pinning is kind of ugly, but if they're, you can actually still do it. If you get a really sturdy resin that's clear, you can use those rods to reinforce other places. But it's a bit more finicky and doesn't work as well. Now, what I'm doing now is a pilot hole, or pre-drilling, using a knife to mark, you can use a drill to mark out where you want to drill before putting the bigger drill to it. And this is because if the surface is uneven, the drill would want to wander, moving away from the hole. By making a pilot hole, it will hook onto that hole and then you can drill easily. If you're using a power tool, this is really important because if you let those wander, they can really mess up your model. So, pilot holes. Mark where you're going to drill, make a little hole, doesn't have to take a big or deep, just a little hole, and then you drill. You don't have to, but it's a strong recommendation from my side. Now, while you enjoy me putting these things together, let's talk about where I have been. It's not particularly interesting, but it does pertain a bit to where we're going. And that is that I am, as I mentioned before, studying to become a teacher of sorts. It's a sort of after-school thing we have in Sweden. Basically, it's like an after-school program, but it's the state that runs it, and everyone who's working or studying can have their kids there for a few hours after school. Anyway, so I'm studying for that, while also working. This kind of eats up a lot of time, and I've been kind of tired. And as much as I love you people out there, you are my third job. Sorry to say. And thusly, I have not produced particularly much in the ways of videos. And yeah, I'm sorry about that, but that is just the way it's going to be going forward. We're gonna see maybe a video to a month best. But I'm going to put up a video, like short videos of all my mechs, because I have had some people like poke me like, do you have a, but how do your mechs look? Can you show me some more mechs? I was like, yeah, I can. So I'm gonna record a little turntable of all my mechs. I'm gonna post those as shorts. So there's gonna be some content, not a lot of content, but some content, you know, because we need to fill the time. I'm gonna try and avoid having taken a month and a half to the next video. That was a bit too long, but I have been busy. It's not going to get less busy per se, but we have a little bit of time. We should be able to produce at least 1 or 2 videos a month. And this mech is going to get painted, which will be the next video. And we're going to paint it as the Bounty Hunter's mech, because my old Bounty Hunter's mech, link up there, has been stripped and prepared for being turned back into what it was to begin with, which was I think it was Grace and Death Carlisle. Grace and Carlisle's Marauder, part of the Legend series. I got back when the last Kickstarter running, and I got 3 Marauders, so I just picked one of them that looked a bit more rugged and turned into the Bounty Hunter's Marauder. But it has now been stripped and prepared since the Great Death Legion box has come out, and I got that box, so I decided to put together my own little Great Death lance. I mean, you can't do that without having the big boy with you. So this is instead going to be more correctly turned into the Bounty Hunter's Marauder. But yeah, as you can see, for the midsection, deep hole, deep hole, because it's going to be a lot of weight on that. You're going to be lifting and handling it more than the arms. So I should probably even done a thicker rod there, but I was lazy, didn't have the energy to switch the drill out. So yeah, you have to live with this one. Yeah. So this is gonna be a custom poise. Custom poise. I'm gonna show you by the end of the video compared to the standard mold. And one of the reasons I have to do these things, beyond it's fun to have your own post mix, is that while Catalysts have started to sell premium mechs, premium kits, which have a bit more flexibility to them, I kid you not. I think the model they release now, the Shadowhawk, is $17. Shipping to where I live, $150. So yeah, I'm paying $150 shipping for a, let's say $20 mech just for the BAP of it, and that ain't happening. And I don't have enough money to spend enough money for that cost of shipping to be worth it, if that makes sense. I mean, it is like spending something around. If I spend about $200-300, then I could accept shipping charge of $150. But I don't have that kind of money right now, so I have to post my own mechs. Fortunately, it's fairly easy. You just chop things off, chop them apart, glue them back together, use some rods to reinforce them. There you go. And I say, you're probably like me. When I first got these mechs, I was like, I don't want to touch this, because these were hard as heck to get a hold of in the beginning. No one carried them. I have a supplier now. I was calling me my supplier because this one shop in Sweden sells these kits. But they sell them fairly, they're regular. They're very good at taking new things and such. So now I have a easy access to mechs. I've been a lot more inclined to cut them apart. Because if there's something you learn, is there is no such thing as monopose. It is just ease or difficulty to work. That is why I usually leave the legs alone on these things. We're going to show a different example at some other point of a mech that I tried to post the legs on. It did not go well. If I put it like that, it did not go well at all. I'm going to show you at some point, but yeah, it's a Mad Dog that it really went bad. Horribly bad. Yeah, so basically wrapping this up now, I have reposted the torso, twisted it, give it a more aggressive stance. The left arm is mostly stock, sitting more or less at the original position. I tweaked up a little bit, but mostly it's sitting in the same position. The right arm, of course, is more stretched out forward. I can't for life remember if Marauders actually have elbow actuators, but this one does. Yes, what it is. This one has elbow actuators. So I cut the arm out around the actuator on the joint on the arm, and then just cut away a bit of the shoulder bit, the upper arm bit, and just stuck them back together again. Yeah, surprisingly functional actually. Also, when you're drilling the arms, be very, very careful, because it's very, very easy to drill right through them. That is why I usually have a thumb on the same area where the drill will be coming out, so I can feel when it starts to poke through. You stop at that point. Because I have before drilled right through. It's not a big deal. You can just put some glue there and it will harden and it will be barely visible, especially on mechs. But that is what it is. So yeah, we are about to go over to the beauty shots, where it will be compared to a bog standard base model Mad 2. And until next time, stay safe, be kind, and do play fair. Bye.